Alright guys, welcome to my Code Lyoko Q&A, and I did think about doing a last call, but I only got about 12 questions, so I kind of felt it wasn't really worth it doing another one, and that was probably my fault. It was more or less my fault because I posted the Q&A thing at 1 o'clock last night, so I figured, you know what, not a lot of people saw it, so I might as well just get these questions out now, and yeah. No offense to the people who ask questions. I got some really good questions in here. And I also, because this sometimes happens in these Q&As of no fault of my own or anyone else's, if anyone's to blame, it's YouTube. Sometimes in these Q&As, they get either marked as spam or they just don't show up on my page for some reason, and I don't really know why. It's just YouTube. It's just YouTube and Google being a prick, as always, so... Yeah, I do apologize in advance if I missed a question from somebody or someone who asked some questions. I do apologize if I missed you. It's more likely because of YouTube's fault, so yeah. Anyway, let's get started with Darrell Nies. I do apologize if I have totally butchered that last name, sir. I do deeply apologize because I absolutely love this intro right here. Darrell says, "Hey there, Deadpoolzilla, big fan of your videos, long-time listener, first-time questioner." See, it's little things like that that makes me happy, people. Okay, my first question is, what are 5 crossovers you would like to see in Code Lyoko? It can't be a crossover with it can be any crossover except Doctor Who. I have nothing against Doctor Who. It's actually my favorite show on TV all the time. I just know that you're going to say Doctor Who. Actually, I wasn't thinking Doctor Who in Code Lyoko at all. That's kind of the funny thing. I mean, Doctor Who and Code Lyoko meeting is cool, but that wasn't really on my top 5 list. So, no, Darrell, you did not sound like a jerk for saying no Doctor Who. So your first question basically is like top 5 favorite crossovers you'd like to see. Okay, top 5, real quick. I'm gonna say. Dot hack, Code Lyoko dot hack would be cool. Reboot, gotta have a reboot. Digimon, there was another one. Transformers and Log Horizon. Those 5 right there. So there you go. There's 5 crossovers right there for you that I'd like to see with Code Lyoko. Your next question is, do you think the movie The Matrix was an inspiration for Code Lyoko? Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely, I would believe that. I mean, hell, sometimes I think Ulrich looks like Keanu Reeves. No, really, like, you go back now, go watch The Matrix, then go watch Code Lyoko right after, and be like, some bitch, he does look like Keanu Reeves. Yeah, so I totally believe it had a huge inspiration for it, along with several other little things here and there. Anyway, so, thank you for those questions, Darrell, and I do apologize for butchering that last name, and let's go on to Carlotta Studios. Carlotta Studios. She asks, if each of the main characters of Code Lyoko got in an RPG class, which would it be for each character? Classes, I mean tank, archer, rogue, mage, stuff like that. Okay. So, Okay, so for Ulrich, he'd be swordsman, or I guess you could say, yeah, swordsman, or warrior class. That'd probably be the other one. Warrior class. Yumi would be, like, maybe stealth. Yeah, Yumi definitely stealth class. Odd would be archer class. Aelita would be support class, and Jeremy would be tactician class, if he was in the thing. And, yeah, I can't really think... Well, I think William would be berserker class. There you go. So, thank you for that first question. Second question is, what do you think of a crossover between Code Lyoko and Stormhawks? Sorry, I just had to ask this question since I adore that show. Really? I couldn't tell. I'm just messing with you, Carlotta. I'm just messing. I love Stormhawks too. Anyway, so Stormhawks Code Lyoko. Oh boy. Let's see if I can think of something real quick. maybe X.A.N.A reaches out from space he gets into a satellite and then wanders through space and then lands on Atmos and he encounters Cyclonus? I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I can't really think of anything right off the bat. So sorry about that. I just can't really think of anything right off the bat, unfortunately. But I do thank you for those questions, regardless. So thank you for those questions, studios. Next comes the Spawn117, and he asks, what would Jeremy, Aelita, Ulrich, Odd, and Yumi's reaction be if they saw Gundam and Jaegers and, of course, Godzilla? Holy shit, run. That'd be my reaction. Number 2, what would happen if Jeremy, basically the group, okay, the group minus Aelita, but let's throw Aelita in here, somehow got teleported to the Terminator universe, and what would be their reaction? I think you could honestly not even use teleportation, because you could honestly use Terminator. You could put Terminator in the Code Lyoko universe. You could say that X.A.N.A had a hand in creating Skynet, and because think about it, they both involve machines rising up. They both have time travel in them, and they both have characters that have destinies to them. See? I should have put Terminator on my top 5 list that I'd like to see crossovers with. Huh. But yeah, Terminator. That'd be pretty cool. Like maybe, or you could even have it that Jeremy's Return to the Past somehow screws up, and they're even sent further into the future, and X.A.N.A has taken the place of Skynet, and I don't know. Maybe they can see future versions of themselves. Hilarity ensues all around. So, 3. Your third question is, what do you think of a Aliens Code Lyoko crossover, Matrix Code Lyoko crossover, Hellsing Code Lyoko crossover, and Assassin's Creed Code Lyoko? Okay, Aliens. We technically had it. Didn't we technically have Aliens in Code Lyoko with that one episode where X.A.N.A takes over that alien suit and tries to kill Ulrich and Yumi? I'm just saying, like that's clearly Alien. I'm not, but realistically, X.A.N.A taking over Xenomorphs would be terrifying. The Matrix, X.A.N.A invading the Matrix would be cool, and Ulrich encountering his doppelganger, his taller doppelganger, in my opinion, would be cool. Hellsing, I got nothing for that. And Assassin's Creed, the only thing I can think of is like maybe X.A.N.A infecting the Animus and killing. Like, making it so that he could kill all the other incarnations of Desmond, I don't know. I really can't think of anything right off the bat. Sorry, Spawn. But thank you for the questions anyway. And moving on to Fire Tools. And he asks, did you like the fact that X.A.N.A never had a true form or face to identify itself with, aside from the Lyoko symbol? If X.A.N.A ever had a form of its own, what would you imagine it looking like? Ooh, this is a really good question. I love this question. I can imagine it one of 3 ways. First one being something along the lines of Brainiac, where, like, from Brainiac we saw in Superman Brainiac, where you have this person who's just kind of hooked in to all this information around the universe. Have that with X.A.N.A. Like, he has a humanoid-like form, but still robotic, and he has all these like, he's sitting on a throne, but it's really, the throne is made of wires that are connected to his body, and he's just jacked into everything around the world. I think that would make a really cool idea, concept-wise. And you can have the X.A.N.A symbol on his chest, and he's just sitting there like, yep, I'm looking at everything. I watch you while you poo and all that. Another one I could see is like maybe like since it's the internet he runs, maybe he's surfing the web. You could have like a spider-like design to him, like a humanoid spider-like design. Like his upper half is robotic and the lower half is a giant robotic tarantula. I don't know. And the third one is like something that I actually saw for a fan art pic that I really liked was X.A.N.A, where he looked kind of like almost vampire-like, where he looked almost like a robotic Dracula-type character with the Lyoko symbol on his cape, and the armor looked very digital, stuff like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So your next question is, what would be your idea for a third-party villain going against both the kids and X.A.N.A, and would it be a reality or a virtual character? Good question. Once again, Fire Tools. Let me think. Sorry, I got a bottle of water here just to keep my mouth from going dry. Anyway, third-party character. Maybe like it's a creation of X.A.N.A. that's like a prototype to what before he took over William. X.A.N.A. tried to create like a quote-unquote sun, and it went haywire. And now it has its own goals for world domination, and they don't involve its creator. And he's going to war with both the kids of Lyoko and X.A.N.A. So maybe you could call him like Kane or something. I don't know. Not good with the whole OC names right off the bat. So definitely like I'd say a creation of X.A.N.A. that just went haywire and wants to do its own thing and is a lot more extreme at it. And he's willing to take on both X.A.N.A. and the kids at the same time. So there's my answer to that. Anyway, thank you once again for the questions, Fire Tools. Moving on to Andrew Partridge. First question is, what do you think of the Code Lyoko gang if they were to accidentally be transported into the virtual Tron universe instead of their own universe? Basically, going into Tron. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to actually see what their costumes would look like. Tron eyes? I don't know how you pronounce that, but basically, they're like Tron versions of their costumes. Kind of like how Marvel did all those little Tron variants. But yeah, I think that'd be cool to see that, and how they try to survive the games. That would be something I would really like to see them encountering the games, and X.A.N.A. following his way into Tron and taking over maybe Clue or the Master Control or something like that. He takes control of it. Yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so your second question is, what kind of music do you think each member of the Code Lyoko gang would listen to? I'm just going to go with the main five. I could literally do the whole series right now. I'm just going to stick with the main characters, starting off with Ulrich. Ulrich, I could see listening to some hard rock, some French, definitely some pop, but definitely some rock music. I could actually see Japanese music Japanese rock on his list of music as well. I don't know, maybe just to help him meditate. Like maybe have the Yoshida brothers on his list, and that would be going. I'd say that for Yumi too, that they both be listening to Yoshida brothers. I could also see Ulrich listening to Green Day. I could see him listening to Fall Out Boy. I could see him listening to The Offspring. I could see him listening to those kind of bands, like alternative rock, kind of punk rock kind of music. So there's Ulrich, real quick. Jeremy would probably be listening to stuff like, I don't know, I kind of think of him as like an 80s guy. Like, he'd be listening to a lot of 80s music, but modern music-wise, I think he'd be listening to like Daft Punk and Steam-Powered Giraffe, if you ever heard of them, and Dr. Steele. A lot of like techno, kind of steampunky kind of music. I don't know why, but he screams that to me. Yumi would have a lot of like J-pop on her music, not because she's Japanese, but we've actually heard some of her music on her playlists, and they do have a lot of J-pop feel to them, so J-pop it is. But I wouldn't put it past her to have some, like Ulrich, to have some pop in, some pop rock and some punk rock in there as well. So moving on to Odd. Odd's music would be odd. Pun intended. Sad pun intended. But I could see Odd listening to, again, Steam-Powered Giraffe, and actually I could see him listening to being a real big fan of Real Big Fish. See what I did there? Definitely I could see Odd listening to their version of Kiss Me Deadly by Lita Ford, and I could see him listening to Weird Al. I could see him listening to a lot of techno too. Definitely a Skrillex fan. Odd strikes me as a Skrillex fan and a Deadmau5 fan. A lot of techno in his playlist. And finally, Aelita. Aelita, I could see listening to softer music. Definitely softer music, like maybe Chopin and stuff like that. Classical and softer music, like maybe you'd have Lorde on there. You'd have, you definitely have Lorde on her. I could definitely see her listening to Lorde and Lana Del Rey and Florence and the Machine. I could see those kind of that kind of music on Aelita's playlist. So there's there's your thank you for that second question. And finally, your third question is, what do you think of the Code Lyoko gang would do if they were all trapped inside the Aperture Labs from Portal 2? Odd would screw up everything. Like, could you imagine Odd with a portal gun? I couldn't. No. Sadly, no. So, thank you for those questions, Andre. Next comes Lack Ono. Lack asks, excuse me, have you seen the sequel series Code Lyoko Evolution? I have not. I know there are some episodes posted online, but I really personally have no urge to see it because I really just don't get the fact that you had an animated series that went on for, what was it, 4 seasons? That was totally animated. Then you decided, let's make it like Power Rangers, where it's live action and Power Rangers was never animated. But you see where I'm trying to go with this? Where you had a cast of teenagers with attitude, and then you just gave them morphing abilities. But that was only CGI animated. I don't get why you suddenly decided to do the 2D animation, take away the 2D animation, which we all know of, and then replace it with live action. Was it cheaper? I don't know. I guess animation's expensive. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I just really had no urge to see it because I have seen episodes. Keep in mind, I have given the show a shot. I have been fair enough to watch episodes of Code Lyoko Evolution, but it's just not clicking with me. The actors in there are just so bleh. I mean, yeah, I've watched Power Rangers, and Power Rangers acting is bad, but this is just not clicking with me, sadly. And I can click with Power Rangers acting, so I don't know why. If you like it, Lack, and anyone else, let me say this right now. If anyone out there is watching this right now and likes Code Lyoko Evolution, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. Love what you've always loved, I've always said. But me personally, I unfortunately just can't get into Code Lyoko Evolution. I'll just stick with Code Lyoko, the original animated series, if that's all the same to everybody. So thank you for that question, that first question. Okay, second question is, who do you think would win in a 5-way battle royale between Ulrich, Odd, Yumi, Aelita, and William? Ooh, interesting. Thinking here. I know I'm silent here, but I'm going to say maybe Aelita. Aelita on the grounds that she can warp the world of Lyoko to her will, and also she could fly and shoot energy beams, so she's got the aerial advantage. But my second pick would be Ulrich, because he's got more of that drive. Actually, yeah, I would go with Ulrich. He's got more of the drive to him. I think the only person that could be any challenge for him is Yumi. Or William stood up a chance to him, so William or Yumi. Yumi more so for Ulrich. But I'm going to go with Ulrich on that one. And your last question is what did you think of the series finale? Not the prequel, but the actual conclusion. Actually, no. Let me explain why. Because the end of the episode just felt like an afterthought. Because they had this huge battle with the Colossus, and suddenly it's just them moping around like, oh, maybe we shouldn't just deactivate Lyoko. Maybe we should. And Ulrich and Yumi being this, and the only real crisis is Sissy finding out. And I think it personally would have been interesting if they had Sissy find out, and then she kind of goes through this character arc of, wow, maybe I shouldn't tell and just keep to myself and stuff like that. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, it's a cool send-off. It's kind of like it has a slice of life feel to it. But after, when you had something so epic, it just kind of felt like, did you really just couldn't think of anything else? All right. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Lack Ono. Next comes Burnouter7, and he asks, how do you think the Code Lyoko gang would react if they met Ben 10 and Danny Phantom? Interested, because they get all their powers from a virtual world, and Ben and Danny get their powers from outside world. And I think it'd be interesting to see X.A.N.A try to break into the Omnitrix or the Ghost Zone. That'd be interesting. Okay, your second question is hang on. Your second question is, what do you think of a Code Lyoko Mega Man crossover, Code Lyoko Sword Art Online crossover, and Code Lyoko Transformers crossover? First off, with Mega Man, it'd be really cool to see, the Lyoko warriors fight the robot masters like like Ulrich fighting Cutman, or Yumi battling Metal Man, or Odd battling Gutsman. It's cool. That'd be really cool. And teaming up with Mega Man would be really cool. Sword Art Online would be really interesting, because I think Ulrich would be the rest of the group would be very into it, and they'd be like, "Oh, we're stuck in a virtual world. We have we know about this. Okay, yeah, we're going to be fine." And then finally, the Transformers. That would be really cool, because then you could have the possibility of Z.A.N.A actually taking over both Autobots and Decepticons, and that's a really scary thought. And yeah, I mean, I'd go further into it, but I got a few other questions to go through, so hopefully you'll understand. But yeah, thank you for that question. Second question, and your third question is, what do you think of the live-action Code Lyoko? I've already given my answer on that. Actually, the question before you, so yeah, I've already given my answer on that, so sorry about that. But yeah, just like I said before, I'm not feeling it, unfortunately. But anyway, thank you for those other two questions, Burnouter, and moving on to Wolfman the Impaler. And your first question is, this made me laugh out loud. If the Lyoko Warriors become Power Rangers, which character would be which color? It's kind of funny, because a while back, a long while ago, I never posted this fanfiction because it never really went anywhere. But a long time ago, I had a fanfiction idea of Power Rangers Code Lyoko crossover, where Z.A.N.A was trying to break, with the help of Vingix from Power Rangers RPM. Basically, he pulls Vingix from the future. Again, I was very early in writing, so I was like, I'll just have Vingix show up, yay! And what happened is that Vingix with Z.A.N.A with Vingix's power tries to break into the morphing grid and gain all the powers of every single ranger and make like a ranger army of robot ranger soldiers. Again, this was one of my first stories, and I never posted it for obvious reasons. But anyway, what happened was, towards the end of the story, the morphing grid comes to the Lyoko gang and a few other characters as well, and they actually become Power Rangers from the past. They literally become the first Super Mega Force. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the Rangers win as followed. Ulrich as the Red Mighty Morphin Ranger, Yumi as the Blue Ninja Storm Ranger, Aelita as the Pink Mystic Force Ranger, Odd was the Black... No, he wasn't the Black... It was, if I remember right... No, he was the blue... the Green... Yeah, he was the Green Zeo Force Ranger. Yeah, the Green Zeo Force Ranger. Jeremy became the Black RPM Ranger. Who else became a Ranger? Oh yeah, Sissy became a Ranger. She became the Yellow Galaxy Force Ranger. Yeah, the Yellow Galaxy Ranger. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. And William became the... William became the... Who did he be? Yeah, he became the Wild Force Wolf Ranger. Yeah, the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wild Force. And they all teamed up with Jason, who was the Black Dino Thunder Ranger, and they all fought Z.A.N.A, and everybody won. It was all cool and shit, and I never posted for obvious reasons. So thank you for that question, Wolfman the Impaler. Second question is, what comic company would you like to see write a Code Lyoko series? That's an easy one. IDW. I think they're really good at handling TV titles. I mean, look what they're doing with the Cartoon Network titles right now. I think it's amazing. That's really the only one I could see. Like, I think they have the right writers to pick for these for these licensed titles, and I think they're very open to really cool ideas. So, Code Lyoko at IDW. That's really the only answer I can give. And your final question is, X.A.N.A encounters Ultron. What happens? Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that once again, because, as for those who don't know, I write on a Marvel fanfiction site called Marvel 2K14, where we actually have the Code Lyoko characters in a title I'm writing called Future Academy, which is full of young superheroes, both Marvel and non-Marvel. I'm talking, I've got X.A.N.A hanging out with Code Lyoko, and Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls are in there, and Dipper and Mabel are the great-grandchildren of Mr. Sinister in this 2K14 universe. It's all kinds of crazy shit. And in there is the Code Lyoko gang, and I'm actually going to have a meeting between X.A.N.A and Ultron, and I'm going to say this, it ain't going to be pretty. But that's not until later on down the road. I need to get back to writing those issues. Anyway, so I'll just say what I said with them eventually meeting in the Future Academy title. It ain't going to be pretty. So thanks for those questions, Wolfman the Impaler. Next question comes from Grimlock1992, who asks, what is the Code Lyoko gang? What if the Code Lyoko gang had a crossover with Digimon, and what Digimon team would they have as partners? Man, there's so many Digimon. I can remember Pokemon better than Digimon. And I love Digimon more than I'm more of a Digimon fan than I am a Pokemon fan. That's weird, but I can't really think. It would be really cool. Don't get me wrong. Maybe you could have it like maybe like in Digimon Series 4 where they actually became the Digimon. That actually might work just as well because they became superheroes. Why can't they become Digimon? So I guess that train of logic kind of works. So thank you for that question. Second question is, if you could make your own episode, what would you do with it? That's easy. I would have that X.A.N.A has taken over a nuclear warhead in the U.S., and he's aiming every single warhead in the U.S., or you could actually, better yet, have France. He's taken over France's missile silos, and he's aiming them at every country in the world, and he's going to blow it up. They did have one involving radiation, but they never really dealt with this nuclear disaster. They did have one with a military satellite, but I was like, X.A.N.A, why don't you just take over some nuclear silos? That'll kickstart your World War III for you. So yeah, something to do with that. So thank you for those questions, Grimlock1992. Next comes 146 Zigzag, and he asks, do you think William should have been a full-time Lyoko warrior instead of becoming X.A.N.A's pawn and made useless in the final? Oh yeah, totally. I think I know X.A.N.A needed a henchman. He needed someone to hench for him. See what I did there again? I'm on a roll tonight, guys. You don't even know. But I think X.A.N.A, they needed someone to have someone's like X.A.N.A's Bebop and Rocksteady, except without the Rocksteady. And they made William into that, and I think it would have been because William had potential to be a better character. That was kind of the thing. Like William was just there to be Ulrich's rival for Yumi's heart, and that was really it. And I was kind of hoping that when he joined the Lyoko gang, he'd be more than that. Sadly, we didn't get that, and he became literally X.A.N.A's work for X.A.N.A, me smash things. Even less than that. So yeah, answer your question in a nutshell, yeah. So thank you for that question, 146 Zigzag. And moving on to Jerkwater100, and he asks, can a Code Lyoko reboot crossover work? Abso-freaking-lutely. Could you imagine how awesome that would be? I mean, I know it's been talked about before, but that would be really awesome. Like I said earlier, it was one of my top 5 favorite crossovers that I would really like to see with Code Lyoko. So, absolutely. I can't really think of a story right off the bat. So, but yeah. Absolutely, once again, like I said. And your second question is, you become a Lyoko warrior. What weapon do you choose? If I had a sledgehammer, I'd hammer robots in the evening. I'd hammer them in the morning. I don't know where I'm going with this, but basically one big giant hammer. There you go. I'm having too much fun, guys. But thank you, Jerkwater100. Next question comes from John Kramer, Hope I'm saying that last name right. Apologize if I am not. First question is, what do your favorite Lyoko warrior? I'm torn because I really like all of them. They're all really good characters in my opinion. But if I had to guess, I'd have to go with Yumi. Definitely Yumi. She was calm, cool, collected. Aura could pull a Spawn every so often and totally, get angsty and broody. But Yumi, when she got angsty and broody, she had all the right reasons. Like when her parents got separated, I'm like, and watching this as a kid, I didn't know that parents could do that at a young age. I didn't really fully grasp that parents could up and split. So that got a little too real for me as a kid. And I was like, huh. So whenever Yumi got pissed off, it was more or less for justifiable reasons. But then later on down the road, they just was like, oh well, Auric hung out with with Emily, so Yumi's gonna be pissed for a bit. I'm like, God damn it. Anyway, so Yumi. But again, I love all the characters. Second question is, side characters you would have liked to have seen become Lyoko warriors. Ooh, really good question here. I love this one. Favorite character, side characters I think should have become Lyoko warriors. Sissy, first and foremost. I think Sissy would have made an interesting character, because that would have broadened her character out more when you think about it, and it would have given her more to do than just be the annoying mean girl antagonist, and I think it would have really made her feel like, wow, I'm really, doing something bigger than myself. I'm saving the world on a daily basis. Holy crap. And again, it would have given her more to do. And I think I think that's what they were trying to do this whole that whole series, was try to get Sissy to be a Lyoko warrior. And by them I mean the writers. And I think subconsciously, and then suddenly, oh, we have this character named William. Let's make him a Lyoko warrior. Go back to being one-dimensional. But it's kind of weird because I do like Sissy as a character. She's obnoxious, but it's fun at the same time. So she's kind of a parody of the mean girl thing with like Rhonda from Hey Arnold. She's kind of like a parody of the rich mean girl kind of story. Character stereotype, I mean. So Sissy's my only... Jim would have been cool. Jim would have been interesting. I wonder what his would have been. I have a weird feeling that if Jim ever went to Lyoko, his out costume would be like something like a heavy mech Rambo type thing. Like he looks like something that walked out of a Rob Liefeld comic, and with all these ridiculously large guns and ammo strapped to his body and shit like that. I don't know. Something like that with Jim. So Sissy and Jim, there you go. Thanks for that question, John Kramer. Next comes Taj Harrison. He asks, what would your virtual reality avatar look like, and what theme would it follow? I don't know, really. I can't really think of anything off the bat, unfortunately. Maybe something like maybe Mega Man. How when Mega Man defeats a warrior or somebody else, he takes their abilities and adds it to his own. Maybe something like that would be cool, with a hammer. Going back to the previous question with Jerkwater. So, thank you for that question, Taj Harrison. And the next one is Canaro 022. Yeah, 0222. Who, and again, I'm totally sorry if I totally butchered your name. I deeply apologize for that. And your question is, do you like the Code Lyoko theme song? Oh, hell yeah, I love the theme song. It is so awesome. I love both the English and French version. And usually with theme songs, I'm kind of stickler for one version or the other. Like how I'm kind of a stickler more for the Japanese theme of Heart of Sword from Rurouni Kenshin. That's a good example. But no, it's catchy both English and in its original French form. So yeah, I absolutely love both. Anyway, once again, there are all the questions. I want to thank everybody who asked questions. And once again, if you had a question on here that I did not read, that probably means YouTube was being a dick. So I do apologize for that. And once again, I thank you all for your questions. And that's really all I can say. So once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.